Alright, what's going on, guys? Washer Up Grunt here again today, coming at you with another video. It's going to be a little bit of a different one. I mentioned a little bit ago in my AVS video that I was able to mount the AXL Advanced Equinox Cummerbunds onto my AVS with the harness, like the actual harness that is supposed to come with the AVS, right? So I'm just gonna get straight into it, show you guys how I did it. So I have the Cummerbunds here. Gonna put one through here. I'm gonna put the other one through here. Everything's gonna be a little bit of a tight squeeze, which is fine. This whole setup's gonna be a little bit of a tight squeeze, and it's gonna be really tedious. So if you think this is going to be like easy, I warn you, it really isn't going to be that easy. It's gonna be very tedious. I know that AXL makes a micro harness for the AVS, which I do have, but I just have never mounted it. Because as I was waiting for that in the mail, I figured out how to mount the Cummerbunds, the AXL Equinox Cummerbunds, to the harness and all that stuff, or with the harness, right? So now that I got these Cummerbunds through, I'm going to take the Tegris linings, or the Tegris backed, whatever these things are called, put them through the laser cut molly of the Cummerbunds. And essentially, right, so what we're going to do here is basically follow the tutorial that AXL Advanced does have on their YouTube channel and on their website. So we're just gonna make a little knot here. Not doing a very good job at it, my bad. There we go. Oh, other way. Awesome, so it's gonna be a little bit different, but I wouldn't stress too much about it, because typically there's rows of molly that you would put it through, the bungee through, and it singes it down a little bit more, but we don't have that luxury here on the AVS plate bag, so we're just gonna have to work with it. Don't worry, I'll show you guys the methodology that I use to retain the Cummerbunds without the extra rows of molly down here. If there's a bunch of cuts and jumps in this video, that's fine, or I apologize, because this is going to take a little bit and I don't want you guys to watch me struggle through all of this. So now I'm just putting on the second one. Take my other piece of shock cord here, bungee shock cord, or whatever you want to call it. Make that little loop, or that little knot, I mean. There we go. You don't always want it to be super tight, because the bungee, the shock cord, is supposed to theoretically breathe with you as you move and do all that, and do all your dynamic movement with whatever you decide to do with this thing on, which is why I like the AVS so much. It does a really good job at moving and breathing with you, regardless of all of the extra stuff. See, this is kind of where it's not the greatest to always take this thing on and off, but for the sake of the video I will. But warning, when you do cut these things and you always mess with it and you always try to get you constantly readjust it and whatnot, it's just not going to be fun to put back on and take off all the time, because this will start to look like that and it's really difficult to get it through. But I just put a little saliva on it. I know it's kind of weird, but it gives it just enough dexterity to get through the hole. There we go, finally. All right, so now that I have both of them through, what I'm going to do is make another little knot down here at the bottom. And once again, go ahead, do it on the other side. Awesome. Now we're going to take both of these and then we're going to push them through here at the very bottom of this molly that goes down the middle of the plate bag. And that's how we're going to secure it. And we're going to make sure it's not going to go anywhere with this square knot. There we go. And we're just going to tuck them in just like that. See, still some room. Looks a little weird, looks a little janky. That's fine. For me, if you guys are kind of like neat freaks about this stuff, then I don't think you guys are gonna like it, but gonna kind of have to just live with it. That's what I do. But see, it works just fine. Like, you won't be able to wear this without the harness, because all this stuff is gonna poke you. Again, that's where like the AXL Equinox Cummerbunds or the AXL micro harness is going to really help out here, so that way like your back isn't, rubbing up against all this stuff. But today we're going to be using the actual harness, so the harness is going to cover all this up. All right, so now that we got the Cummerbunds on, we're going to flip this over like so. And we're going to take one side of the harness, place that down. I put it on the wrong side. Oh my god, I put it on the wrong side. Okay. Silly me. Whew. Okay, starting over. All right. Okay, now that we got the Cummerbunds on, we're going to mount the rear plate bag to the harness, just like, how we normally would. So, come back here, put that on right here, make sure the rings are through. So we're gonna take the shoulder strap, put it through both of the D-rings, just like how we would mounting it normally, because that's essentially what we're doing. We're just putting it on normally. But the trick is we're going to give it a little bit more slack going through this right here, because with how the molly's going to sit through here, because see, we have like the mollies that have to go through here, it's going to sit a little bit janky, or not janky, a little bit high, and then that's going to give us problems when the harness is finally mounted, right? So problems being, the harness will bulge up here and here and here, right? So if we can get it as flat as possible to mount this thing on, that would be perfect, right? So now that we got this through, we're gonna put this molly, or we're gonna molly this straight through here And sorry if the camera is a little shaky, guys. I have a Walmart table and an Amazon stand to hold this phone, so it's probably gonna shake a little bit. See, this is gonna be the tricky part. Making sure all of the moly, everything is ready to receive the mollies and all that stuff, so that way it's not that big of a pain. But you know, this hobby is a pain. Take our handy dandy multi-tool, pull these through. Make sure that they are pulled all the way through, because if not, we're gonna run into problems, like I mentioned before. Okay. Now we're gonna get these in. Snap them in like so. If you guys already know how to set up the rest of the harness and all that stuff, then I encourage you to just skip through the video and see the final product, because honestly this might take a bit, so it's fine. Alright, there's one side of the harness. So you guys can see it's starting to come together now, and we're just gonna do the same thing. Get that shoulder strap through. Give it a little bit of slack, or a little bit more slack than usual. Oh, forgot to push it through the ring. Don't do what I did. There we go. Just like so. Slid one through. We're gonna molly, or we're gonna click these in, button these in, whatever you wanna call it. I may have to start over.
A few years later.
Okay, alright, I got both. Ooh. Alright, sorry for that long jump edit, whatever you want to call it, but I got both of the pieces on here now, or both parts of the harness on here now. Now what we're going to do, just like how you would with the regular mounting process of the harness, we're going to take the bungee that it comes with, the shock cord, I don't know why I keep calling it bungee. We're going to put it through this first round of molly right here, and we're just going to loop them through the little hooks right here. Or not hooks, just like the little things. And now we're just gonna feed them through. One over the other, like so, or however you prefer it. This is usually what I see people do when it comes to mounting the harness like this. Now that we got the shock cord pulled all the way through the loops, we're gonna cinch this down. Now typically I know that it comes with like the little cinch thing, but I've lost that. I don't know where the fuck it's at. So we're just gonna do a quick little square knot. Tighten that, and then just get the excess, put it through there, and we're gonna tuck that in. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now we're gonna take the front plate bag. Put the shoulder strap through. Go. And I have the buckle, so I just put it through there. AXL Equinox Cummerbunds, or no, not AXL Equinox Cummerbunds, but the AXL shoulder pads, the AXL shoulder pads, structural shoulder pads. There we go. That's the name of it. Come on here. Go. Now we're just gonna take the plates. Forget your roll one. I love my roll one. Rear plate bag. All right, there it is. So there you have it. That's how I mount the AXL Equinox Cummerbunds onto the AVS with the original harness on. Real quick, I'll show you guys what it looks like on the body, so that way you guys know how it works, or what it looks like on person. Alright, so this is what it looks like on my person. Still pretty good, flexes pretty well. Doesn't look janky all that much, at least at all. Doesn't really look all that janky, I mean. So yeah. If you guys have any questions, drop them down low in the comments or DM me on Instagram at @washupgrunt. Thanks for watching.